I'm curious, Scott, do you have any insight onto the home office deduction in terms of what percentage of that house can someone get away with? And I don't mean get away with illegally, I mean legally. I'll tell you, just make a statement about my own situation. In my last home, I made sure I filmed YouTube videos in every room. Well, not the bathroom, but in all of the rooms, I did a video and I conducted business in all those rooms. I don't know if that matters, but I'll just tell you.
Well, I think that's one way to do it, to make an argument. Typically, the way the IRS will look at it is they'll look and see, do you have 100% dedicated use? So I'll give you an example. My basement, my son used to live there. He went to college. So then I converted his bedroom to kind of a recording studio. And then I moved all my desks. So I've got a desk for myself to work. I've got a reading room where I read real estate books, right? Financial books. I've got a desk for me. I've got a desk for my daughter who helps out with my accounting. So what I did is I pulled out anything that was residential. There's not a bed down there. There's not a TV for personal use. If I took pictures of it, so it's 100% business. So my take on that would be the IRS wants to see that it's 100% dedicated, that there's no cross-pollination, that you can't use that space for anything else. So the extent you can do that is probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not giving tax advice, of course.
Right. Yeah. We should make that disclaimer, by the way. Scott is not a lawyer. He's not a tax advisor. He does happen to know a lot about tax, but check everything with your own advisor because this stuff's complicated, folks. You know that, and everybody's situation differs.
Let me just go to just two little branch off of the 121. So sometimes we get asked, what if I buy a nice home on a golf course that I rent out for a while, but I want to move into it? So I do a 1031 into a $2 million home on a golf course. You can do that. So your initial intent has to be to hold for investment. A few years down the road, your intent changes. You decide to move into it. That's permitted. If you later go to sell it, you've got a 5-year holding period. So you've got to hold the asset for a minimum of 5 years. But what's interesting is you don't get the full 121 exclusion. So let me give you a scenario. I do an exchange, I rent it for 3 years, I move into it, I live there for 5. So I've got 8 years of ownership. I get 5/8 of my 121 exclusion. So I get a ratio. The longer I live in it, the closer I get to full 121 exclusion. So there's a potential there to do an exchange and then later on move into it. So you're in Florida right now. We have a lot of people that may exchange into Florida, rent it out for a few years, but they intend somewhere down the road to move into it and make that a second home or make it a residence in the winter. So the 1031 provides that tool. So that's what that strategy is. Now, the third one is a great strategy. So Jason, you're going to love this for people on the coast that have had a lot of appreciation. So let's say somebody bought a house in La Jolla, California, 300 grand. Today it's worth $5 million, right?
Yep.
It's appreciated.
I used to live in La Jolla, yeah.
You know the market. So, and let's say this happened over 30 years, right? It didn't happen overnight, but it's gone up a lot. Most of their net worth is in that primary residence, right? They've got it worth $500,000, it's paid off. There is a way in the code where you can now take advantage of 121 and 1031 together and combine them. So you move out of your La Jolla house and you make it a rental. And let's say you rent it for just a year. So I do a 12-month lease. Now I list the property in La Jolla. Well, it was my primary residence for 2 out of the past 5 years. So I get the full 121 exclusion. Let's say they're married, they're able to pull $500,000 off of that. So now they've got $4.5 million left. They then do an exchange with that $4.5 million to a lot of the markets that you talk about, Jason, a lot of the Midwest markets where you can get a good value.
Southeast, yeah.
Yeah, they buy there and they buy a whole bunch of single family homes. I know somebody that bought 32 homes out of a property they sold in Southern California. They bought 32 homes in the Midwest. Now you've just converted all that equity that was in your home, and now you converted it into investment equity that's going to kick off retirement cash flow that keeps up with inflation, and you get all those benefits. So I think that's a really interesting strategy for people that have a lot of equity in their home and maybe not a lot of equity in other ways, to kind of unlock that equity, use it to provide retirement cash flow and kind of convert it. So it's a pretty simple way to do that. And we've got guidance from the IRS. This is 100% legitimate.
Yeah. And Scott, we've done the more traditional version of that many times. I mean, many times, where someone will sell an expensive, usually California property, right? They might have inherited it. We had one client, I remember specifically them, who inherited it. They sold the property. We helped them set up their 1031 exchange with your company, and they bought, I think, 37 properties. They converted one property that was a vacation rental that was hit and miss. It wasn't, they didn't want to manage it. They didn't want to deal with it. They converted that to 37 long-term, high-quality rental properties. I mean, their cash flow, we did a show on this when it happened. This was years ago. I mean, it was phenomenal because that property they inherited, it was free and clear. It was like 2.5 million or something. And they were able to leverage that into 37 little rental properties, like entry-level homes that those have probably all doubled in value by now. And their cash flow is dramatically better. They were very happy and very thankful about it.
Oh, yeah, that's a great strategy. Plus, you get 37 assets. What if one of them's not that great? You still have 36 great ones. So
I know you can just get rid of the one that you don't like. Yeah.
Yeah, you got all the diversification. No, that's a great strategy. So it's a way to kind of unlock your home equity and make it some investment capital that'll work with you. And you just got to jump through a few hoops on that one.